Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are starting a brand new series on the channel. This series will focus on me drawing out various Pegasi herds that I have planned and thought out a big story for over the years, and I really want to share it with all of you. These Pegasi are near and dear to my heart, and they mean the world to me. I've spent a long time working on the designs for these Pegasi, perfecting them and formulating a compelling story. I hope you all enjoy this video, and without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I am going to show you is the land that these Pegasi herds live in. I've drawn a map so you all can see how things look. I'm not the best at drawing landscapes or maps, so you'll have to bear with me. Now, as we progress through the story and certain events happen and take place, this map will change slightly, sometimes entirely. Every time that happens, I will draw a new map for you all to see what has changed and how things are looking. For this first year, we focus on two main areas for our story: the Valley of Pegasi and the barren wasteland that's located outside the valley. The herds inside the valley itself are normally stationary herds, while the herds located outside the valley are often smaller, usually just pure family groups, or smaller migrating herds who follow similar migrating patterns to that of other animals they share the land with, such as elk, bison, pronghorn, caribou, and others. This year, we are focusing on three herds: the Fiddler herd, the Glacier herd, and the Roman herd. The Fiddler herd lives in the barren wasteland located outside the Valley of Pegasi, and they are a wandering/migrating herd. Due to the drought conditions, it has been much harder to find food and water anywhere in the wasteland, and Fiddler herd has been struggling the most. Many of their members have either died off due to starvation, or they've left in hopes of finding better territory and perhaps a new herd to take them in. Now, most herds I will talk about will have their herd allegiance shown at the beginning of their section. Fiddler herd doesn't have this, due to reasons I'm about to share with you. Led by Rayfire, who also founded the Fiddler herd alongside his mate, this big, strong overstallion is incredibly noble, fatherly, and caring towards those he loves. He deeply cherishes his mate, Breezewish, and their little colt. Many respect his wisdom, which is far beyond his years, and he is an extremely good listener. Sadly, during a rainstorm, as customary when following drought-like conditions, the rain created a rapid and fast-moving flash flood, which washed away Rayfire's son. In the heat of trying to save his young colt, Rayfire was swept underneath the lashing waves of the water, and he sadly died in the flood. Breezewish is the loving, nurturing, and motherly, wise, and kind-hearted mate of Rayfire, and she founded Fiddler herd alongside him. Breezewish captivated her herd members, telling them all, including her son, of a far-off land called Varentia, a land that is so lush, with plentiful food, water, and is vast, wide open, and sprawling. It's the kind of land any Pegasi could hope for. When she lost her mate and seemingly lost her only son at the same time due to the rapid floodwaters, Breezewish was forced to continue forward on her journey as a loner, and she continued heading towards Varentia, marking the end of Fiddler herd's reign. The Glacier herd lives inside the valley, and they are the biggest herd within the valley. The Glacier herd alone has caused the total disbandment of the majority of the other herds in the valley, leaving only one other fully established herd and several small bachelor groups of Pegasi still intact. Before we get into introducing each member, here is Glacier herd's allegiance. You can pause to read it if you'd like. The overstallion of the Glacier herd is the big, strong, nearly white tyrannical overstallion known among the other Pegasi as Icewind. Being much larger than the majority of other Pegasi, Icewind is ruthless, sadistic, and deeply vengeful. Having felt like an outcast his entire life simply due to his coat color, he is now seeking total domination over the entire Valley of Pegasi. He is seeking to rule everything without mercy, and he's not afraid to do anything in his power in order to get what he wants, even killing off his own herd members when they refuse to do what he asks or he feels that they've betrayed him in some way. His only son, Jagged Claw, is the one shining light in his life, and Icewind has aspirations that his son will one day take over as the leader of Glacier Herd, and he vows to give his son everything. Because Glacier Herd has so many members, it is unique in that instead of having one lead mare, it has two. It is also different in the sense that neither of the lead mares are Icewind's mate. Rather, they are both his sisters. We will start with his younger sister, Windfrost. She is deeply sadistic, manipulative, and is known for her intense loyalty to her older brother and her sharp perception and impeccable tracking and fighting skills. Just like her brother, she was also outcasted her entire life due to her coat color, and it has made her deeply hate all other Pegasi. While she is incredibly loyal to her brother, often referring to him as the one true Overstallion, she, like most of the other members of Glacier Herd, is secretly terrified of him. They all know what he is capable of, and they don't ever want to get on his bad side. They've seen what happens when someone does. Windfrost has a major notch in her left ear due to a rather fierce battle with another Pegasus. The second of our Glacier Herd lead mares is Whitefrost. Being the older sister to both Icewind and Windfrost, this mare is an incredibly skilled tracker and navigator. While Whitefrost is slightly smaller than her siblings, she is still notably larger than most other Pegasi, but she does have a greater tactical advantage during aerial battles. She is fierce, deeply unforgiving of others, and is highly aggressive, which is unusual for female Pegasi. She is blind in her right eye, which this has led to her feeling outcasted most of her life, and on top of that, she also has a severely notched right ear and scars on her muzzle. The understallion of Glacier Herd is Jagged Claw, the one and only foal fathered by Icewind. Jagged Claw is your typical 2-year-old stallion. He's bratty, full of himself, and thinks that he is the greatest Pegasus to ever walk the earth. Other than his father, of course. He is the deeply valued and treasured future leader of Glacier Herd, and his father often tells him that all the land they have worked so hard to claim and take over will one day be his to rule. Jagged Claw is just like his father. He's fierce, ruthless, and deeply sadistic. He is a heavily built stallion. He has all action and no talk attitude about him, and his quota when he sees another Pegasus is simple: kill on sight. Next up we have Snowglider. He is one of the 3 new members that was welcomed into Glacier Herd this year. He was brought into Glacier Herd when his birth herd outcasted him for his gray coat, as they claimed it wasn't good because it stuck out to predators. He became one of Icewind's main scouts, and his job is simple. He is to go and scout out the other Pegasus herds in the valley and deem when it'd be the best time to strike them. He's also been assigned as the main protector for Jagged Claw, despite only being a year older than the young stallion. Because of this, he and Jagged Claw have quickly become good friends. Snowglider, while he has been raised to be combative and fierce in battles, he is far more submissive than a lot of other members in Glacier Herd, and he will flee from a fight that he does not think he can win, or if he feels that he is outnumbered. His right ear is severely mangled due to a battle with another Pegasus. Our warrior captain is next, and because there are only 3 stallions in Glacier Herd, and all of them are filling other roles, this role is being occupied by a mare. This is Skydancer. She is one of the original members of Glacier Herd, and as she's been here since Icewind and his sisters formed the herd. She was absolutely smitten with Icewind, and the 2 eventually became mates and had a colt together. A colt you all know as Jagged Claw. Skydancer is smart, devious, and incredibly blunt. If she doesn't like you, she will let you know. She became the warrior captain due to her smart nature and excellent fighting skills. While she is helping her herd take over the Valley of Pegasi and wipe out all the other herds, she does feel as if Icewind has taken things a little too far in his quest for total domination. And she does feel that it's not right to be causing the total destruction of all the other herds in the valley. But she'd never tell this to her mate, as she knows what he's like and how ruthless he can be, even towards his own herd mates. Next is Silverwing, one of the many battle mares within Glacier Herd, which Glacier Herd is the only Pegasus herd to have all mares on its warrior force. Silverwing will stop at nothing to ensure and help her herd succeed at its goal. Total domination and control over the entire valley is something that she's dreamed of for a long time. She is incredibly cunning, as well as agile and tactical, which makes her a great warrior. She's quick on her feet, and thanks to her slightly smaller and more aerodynamic-shaped wings, she is super quick in the air as well. She was brought into Glacier Herd roughly 3 years ago after being thrown out of her birth herd for being too light and agile for them to keep up with. Mistveil's reasoning for joining Glacier Herd is a little different than the other members. She was actually outcasted due to the fact that one of her wings, her right wing, is significantly smaller than her left wing. This makes it a little bit more difficult for her to fly. While she can fly, she cannot fly for long periods of time and also cannot fly at super high altitudes. Glacier Herd graciously took her in, and she became a warrior. She is cunning, smart, and a master manipulator. She is able to get what she wants when she wants it. She is especially skilled at ground fighting rather than aerial fighting, and she wants nothing more than to see the end of all other Pegasi after what her birth herd did to her. She shows little mercy for outsiders now. Gleamwing has been through the hardships and trials of life time and time again, and she has fought some extremely hard battles to get to where she is today. As a weanling, she was attacked by a pack of wolves, which left her with a horrendous scar on her right leg. You can't see it in this drawing, but it is there. And also, her left wing is severely deformed. While she can fly, she can only fly in short bursts and can only remain at low altitudes. Due to this, her natal herd outcasted her, saying that she'd never be able to keep up with them and that they were better off leaving her to fend for herself, likely hoping that she'd die. Glacier Herd took her in, and under their care she has become one of their finest warriors, though, like Mistveil, she is much more skilled at ground fighting than she is at aerial battles. These next two horses actually joined Glacier Herd together, and the situation that led to them joining is rather unfortunate. Their birth herd was actually completely killed and dismantled by Glacier Herd, but due to their great coats, these two were left alive and were given an ultimatum by Icewind: join him or be killed. We obviously can see which option they chose. We'll start with Snowfeather. She is the herd's medicine mare, and her job is to help heal the wounded and sick members of the herd. Because of this, she rarely takes part in battles, despite the fact that she is one of the most skilled flyers in the herd. Snowfeather is smart, is a good teacher, and while she didn't start out as manipulative, since she's been in Glacier Herd, she's learned that being manipulative gets her what she wants, and it helps keep the peace with Icewind. Deep down, she still hates him for what he did to her birth herd. Frostbloom is a sky herder, and as such, she works closely with the warrior captain and the other warriors and helps teach knowledge on flight feathers as well as tactical training techniques. She is agile and brave, but she is also reserved and really only sticks to Snowfeather and a few of the other mares in the herd that she actually likes. Like Snowfeather, she secretly hates Icewind for what he did to her natal herd, but she knows if she fights him, it'll end badly for her. So she just grits her teeth and pretends to like him to save herself. Another of the sky herders in Glacier Herd is Pearlwing. She was chased out of her herd by her mother as a 2-year-old, as her mother is very traditional and claimed that all foals leave their birth herds when they turn 2. That's just the way it has always been. This has driven Pearlwing to develop a deep hatred for her birth herd, but more so a deep hatred for her own mother. She joined Glacier Herd after meeting Wind, Frost, and Whitefeather one day when the 2 white mares were out on a patrol. Upon meeting them, she didn't hesitate in asking to join. She even helped them take down her birth herd. As mentioned, she is also a sky herder, and she is an exceptionally skilled flyer. Pearlwing is wise beyond her years, ambitious, and is also incredibly vindictive and vengeful. She does not like being pushed over for other Pegasi, and she will get her revenge if you do wrong by her. Smokestorm is one of 2 new mares that recently joined the herd. She joined because she has taken quite the liking to the striking young understallion Jagged Claw. She even has hopes of one day becoming his mate and his lead mare when he takes over leadership of the herd. She actually secretly despises Icewind and his sisters, Windfrost and Whitefeather, as she thinks they are way too controlling and way too overbearing and power-hungry. Seeing as she is one of the best flyers in Glacier Herd, it was no question when she became a sky herder. But she can be a bit reckless at times. She's also extremely stubborn and refuses to give in, even when she knows she should. Smokestorm actually has a secret she's keeping from the entire herd, and that is that she is currently pregnant with a foal. She's refusing to tell anyone in Glacier Herd in fear that the news reaches the tyrannical Overstallion and his manipulative sisters. As Smokestorm knows everything will end badly for her and her unborn foal if the foal ends up not being a gray, since the father of the foal is not gray. Next we have one of the youngest members in Glacier Herd. This is Starcatcher, and despite being young, she fits right in and is one of the most valued members of the herd. She joined Glacier Herd after her birth herd disbanded when their Overstallion was killed in a battle with another Overstallion, not Icewind. Starcatcher was taken in by Glacier Herd and has become one of their collectors. As a collector, her job is to go out and collect various necessities the herd needs, whether that's specific bedding or nest items, food items, as well as other essential items the herd can use to their advantage, such as things to help store the resources where other herds will not find them. Collectors also have an acutely impressive sense of smell, and they can track down scents floating on the wind from miles away. Starcatcher is smart, loyal, and honest. While she doesn't fully agree or align with Glacier Herd's goals, in order to keep herself safe, she must go along with it and not question Icewind's methods. Now we have Cloudfire. She was rejected by countless herds before she joined Glacier Herd. There was a multitude of reasons for why other herds rejected her, but the most common reason for her being rejected was because she is a white horse, and other Pegasi feared that she'd be easy for predators and enemy Pegasi to spot. Another reason was that she's way too pushy and arrogant for a lot of Pegasi's liking. She's a very act first and ask questions later kind of Pegasus, and a lot of Pegasus don't like this type of attitude. Cloudfire is often quick to speak her mind, especially when she feels something is unjust. She is incredibly intuitive and observant, which is why taking on the role of collector in Glacier Herd comes naturally to her. She is also incredibly assertive, which doesn't suit her well in other Pegasus herds, but because of it, she fits right in with Glacier Herd. Our last member of Glacier Herd is also the most recent member. This is Shadowflight, and she is a Pegasus with some serious issues. She has developed a deep hatred for other Pegasi after her own father cast her out of her birth herd after she accidentally injured another of her herd members whilst they were just sparring and play fighting. She didn't mean to hurt the other filly. She's just bigger than the average female Pegasus. While out on her own, Shadowflight was attacked by a large bachelor group of female Pegasi, which has resulted in a severe scar along her left side, and she is now mostly blind in her left eye. She joined Glacier Herd and became a collector mainly because it's one of the easiest jobs to do in the herd and it doesn't require her to have to really see and view things, as her vision is limited. The Roman herd is the only other herd that still exists in the Valley of Pegasi, and despite the fact that they have been pushed to the very far western corner of the valley, they are thriving. While they are unaware of the fact that they are the only intact herd aside from Glacier Herd that still exists within the valley, they are aware and conscious of the very clear rules and boundaries that Pegasi herds have, and they are careful to respect those boundaries and not break them. Roman herd is currently 9 members strong, and here's their allegiance. You can pause to read if you'd like. The big black overstallion, known as Shadefire, is the leader of this herd. He runs the herd alongside his mate, Oceanwind. He took over the role as Overstallion when his father passed away and the role was handed down to him, despite the fact that he is the younger of his father's 2 colts. While he is a good leader, he's got some flaws. He is very distrustful of strangers, and he's also quite lazy and entitled. fully believing that an overstallion's job is to do nothing and let the mares do everything. He's quite cowardly as well. He views everything as a challenge, even when it is not. And he is incredibly dishonest and is also a bit selfish and manipulative. Honestly, he's a bit of a jerk. But he is deeply devoted to protecting his family as he believes that a blood bond is the only true bond. He and his mate have a son together, a son he cherishes and prizes deeply. Next, we have our brave and deeply devoted lead mare, Ocean Wind. As Shadefire's mate, she is really the better example of what a true leader should be. She's fierce, deeply loyal, wise, motherly, and protective of her charges. She's also noble, calm, and a motherly figure to all those she meets. Alongside her mate, they have a chestnut colt together, and she more so adopted a second chestnut colt, one she and her son found washed up on a riverbank. And she took this colt in and raised him as her own, much to her mate's disapproval. The other members of Roman herd love her deeply, and she is a deeply cherished member of the herd. Her herd members like her a bit more than they like their overstallion, if we're being completely honest. Ocean Wind truly is one of the greatest examples of not only a lead mare, but a leader in general. Now we have Cloudstrider, who is the older brother to Shadefire, and he is the understallion of Roman herd. He helps rule the herd alongside the leaders and often acts as the second in command, or even a scout for his younger brother. Cloudstrider is one of the more agile Pegasi in Roman herd, and he is capable of flying much higher than most of the other horses within the herd, including the other stallions. This all comes down to his slightly smaller and slimmer build, which, along with helping keep him agile, it makes him super swift in the air as well. Cloudstrider is incredibly loyal to his brother and the herd, and he's resourceful as well. But, due to his brother's beliefs, Cloudstrider here is also quite lazy, much preferring to lay around with the other stallions and let the mares do everything as opposed to actually helping out. Many members of the herd believe that he actually should have been leader over his brother, but Cloudstrider is honest in the fact that he knows he's not cut out to be leader. He's okay with helping out with decisions that Shadefire and Ocean Wind make, but he's not cut out to make those kinds of decisions himself. Next up, we have our warrior captain, Firetail. As is the norm in Pegasus herds, the warrior captain is most often a stallion. Firetail, as such, is one of the most skilled fighters in the herd. But you wouldn't know it by looking at him, as due to Shadefire's beliefs that mares do everything and stallions do nothing, Firetail doesn't see much action. He is loyal to his overstallion and the lead mare, even if he does wish they focused a bit more on practicing fighting skills and battle tactics than they do napping. Firetail often finds him time to sneak off on his own or with the other stallion in the herd and practice those well-earned fighting skills and battle tactics. He sometimes even practices with a few of the battle mares in the herd as well. He's incredibly agile despite his larger size, he's diligent and he's courageous, but also loyal. His buckskin Sabino coloring also make him stand out from the rest of the herd. Nightglow, while he may be the younger of the two warrior stallions in Roman herd, he is the one that is actively practicing his fighting skills and battle tactics more than the older captain Firetail is. Nightglow constantly seeks out assistance from the battle mares to help him practice and hone his skills, and he and Firetail also sometimes do play, fight, and spar with one another. While Nightglow isn't much of an opponent for the older, stronger, and much wiser warrior captain, he does still like testing the older stallion. He's incredibly smart, intuitive, and ambitious. While he wasn't the most fond of the little orphan chestnut colt that the lead mare found and was brought into the herd, due to the circumstances that have allowed the orphan to stay in the herd and be raised by the lead mare, he has been forced to accept the young colt as part of the herd, much to his disliking. Unlike her name might suggest, Sundew here is rather reserved and mostly keeps to herself, but she is an extremely skilled battle mare and is one of the best fighters in the herd. Aside from the lead mare, of course. Despite her reserved nature, Sundew here is actually quite nurturing, and she loves doing her part to help babysit the foals of the herd, while the other mares are out either on scouting trips, patrols, or gathering resources or practicing fighting skills. She's especially fond of the little chestnut colt that the lead mare adopted and took in as her own, despite the fact that this colt is not a blood member of the herd and is not in any position to take over as leader someday. She finds the young colt incredibly inquisitive and is always encouraging him to ask questions and be receptive to other feelings and emotions. She loves that he's always seemingly ready to and willing to learn about the ways of the land around him. Sundu isn't the biggest fan of the overstallion, though. She thinks he's a self-centered jerk that has no business being in the position of leader, and she's already seeing a lot of those same qualities in the leader's son, which she knows cannot be a good thing for the future of the herd. Next, we have the herd's medicine mare, Ivy Whisper. She comes from a long line of medicine mares, and she is one of the best medicine mares in the entire valley. Her skills were all passed down to her from her mother, who was also a skilled medicine mare for Roman herd. She has great knowledge of all the herbs and the situations that call for each one to be used to treat a wound or an injury. She adores the son of the leaders, and while she was initially hesitant to accept the little orphan that the lead mare brought in, because the young colt spends more time with the mares than he does with the stallions, she's actually taken the young colt under her wing and has taught him a few things about special herbs and the role of the medicine mare within the herd. While she knows the young colt can never become a medicine horse, since the role is usually fulfilled by a mare rather than a stallion, she does hope that he takes the skills that she is teaching him and will use them to his advantage one day, as very few stallions have the skills that she's taught him. Rivercrest, similar to the lead mare Ocean Wind, was very quick to take in the little orphan colt and take him under her wing. She has shown him what the true art of what a sky herder is, and seeing that the colt was already swift and agile, both in the air and on his feet, Rivercrest has made it her responsibility to teach the young colt something that no other stallion knows, and that is the secret dialect specific to the sky herders of the Roman herd. Because sky herders are always mares, she is sharing these insights and secrets with the young colt in hopes that he will one day use it to his advantage. She honestly adores the little chestnut colt, and she is happy that he was accepted into the herd fully by the lead mare Oshwind, and while reluctant, was eventually accepted into the herd by Shadefire. Rivercrest is quick-footed, optimistic, and incredibly charismatic. She's a joy to have in the herd. Emberleaf, being quite the social Pegasus that she is, was quite happy when the young orphan that Oceanwind found was accepted and brought into the herd. She has become quite fond of him. Emberleaf is an incredibly skilled collector, and she has been sharing her knowledge with the other mares of the herd and even has been showing the young orphaned colt all that she knows and a few tricks of the trade. She has even shown him the best spots in Roman herd's territory to scout and look for the best grasses, herbs, and nest-building materials they can find. She's quite fond of him. Being one of the youngest members in the herd and one of the more social members, she's always happy to play with both the son of the leaders and the orphan colt near the river. She quite enjoys her time with them and is often found entertaining the young colt and telling them all kinds of interesting stories. She's wise despite her young age and is incredibly motherly. The pride of Roman herd is Bladefrost, the son of Shadefire and Oceanwind. A little spitfire of a colt, he's a little naive in the sense that he fully believes that he saved Thunderclaw's life, when in all actuality, it was his mother who saved the orphan colt. Bladefrost is polite, caring, and is being raised right by his mother, and through her is being taught the true way to lead a herd. But unfortunately, his father Shadefire believes that he should have everything handed to him on a silver platter, as he is the future leader of Roman herd. These teachings are unfortunately beginning to rub off slightly onto Bladefrost, and while he is caring and polite by nature, he is beginning to develop a few of his father's characteristics, as he believes that when he does one day become the overstallion of the herd, that everything and everyone must bow down to him, and he will be free to take whatever he wants. Bladefrost was happy to help when he and his mother found the orphaned colt, and he even purposely lost the race so the colt would be allowed to stay in the herd without worry that his father would kill him. He has some work to do if he wants to become a great overstallion one day. The other foal in Roman herd is Thunderclaw, but he was actually born to Fiddler herd. Yes, that's right, he is the long-lost son of Rayfire and Breezewish. He was separated from his parents when he was swept away by the raging floodwaters when he was around 5 months old. He was swept along the current for days, which connected him with a large river that flowed into the valley. where he was eventually swept up onto a riverbank along the northern edge of Roman Herd's territory. He was found by Blade Frost and his mother Ocean Wind, and while at first Ocean Wind rejected him and told him that he could not stay, after enough begging and him asking her where his home was and explaining he was just lost, Ocean Wind accepted him and led him back to the herd. Shadefire wasn't as welcoming, and he ordered the other stallions in his herd to kill Thunderclaw the second he saw him, claiming that outsiders cannot be trusted and that the only true bond is blood. After some pushback, Thunderclaw was challenged to a race with Blade Frost with two conditions. If he lost the race, he would immediately be killed by Shadefire and the other stallions within the herd. But if he won the race, he would be allowed to stay in the herd under the condition that he stayed with the mares and not the stallions. He won the race and was ultimately allowed to stay, which he's grateful for, but he deeply misses his mother and father. That's all for today's video, guys. I really hope you all enjoyed this video and will enjoy this series as a whole. I personally cannot wait to share these stories I've spent so long creating and formulating with all of you. And I really hope you guys want to see more. Please remember to like the video and leave a comment down below letting me know if you enjoyed this and which Pegasus is your favorite so far. If you liked the video and want to see more like it, consider hitting the subscribe button down below as well as the notification bell. That way you'll never miss out on another one of my videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!